Here's the deal. This winter isn't just cold, it's downright bizarre. Forecasts for 2025 are throwing us a curveball, with bone-chilling deep freezes expected to hit parts of the US and Canada that usually get off easy. And let me tell you, it's not looking good. Here's the hard truth. Most people aren't ready for what's coming. I'm not here to scare you, but if you're not prepared, you could find yourself in a really bad spot, freezing in the dark, without power, heat, or even food. That's not an exaggeration, it's reality. I've spent weeks digging into FEMA guidelines, government resources, and the latest winter predictions, and what I've uncovered is honestly alarming. The risk of extreme cold events this year is higher than anyone's talking about. And the consequences? They could be life-threatening if you're caught off guard. But here's the good news, you don't have to be unprepared. In this video, I'm breaking down the 9 FEMA-approved survival items every household needs before the first snowstorm hits. And no, I'm not just talking about the obvious stuff like blankets and flashlights. These are the often overlooked essentials that could make all the difference between staying safe and scrambling in a crisis. Before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Are you already noticing shortages or price spikes on winter supplies in your area? Have you started prepping yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading every single one. Alright, let's get into it. Because time is running out, and trust me, you don't want to wait until the first snowstorm to start preparing. Let's make sure you and your family are ready for whatever this wild winter throws our way. 1. Heat-saving heroes. Emergency thermal blankets. Let's talk about your first line of defense against the cold, emergency thermal blankets. When winter storms knock out the power, the cold doesn't just creep in, it takes over. Your once cozy home can turn into an icebox faster than you'd believe. Heat escapes through windows, doors, and even walls, leaving you shivering and vulnerable. That's why FEMA highlights one simple yet often overlooked item: thermal blankets. You've probably seen these shiny, crinkly silver sheets before. They look like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? Lightweight, compact, and honestly, not the most glamorous thing in your emergency kit. But don't let their appearance fool you. These blankets are engineered to reflect up to 90% of your body heat back to you. That's right, 90%. They don't generate heat themselves, but they trap the warmth your body is already producing, creating a barrier between you and the icy air around you. This isn't new technology. It's been trusted by hikers, rescue teams, and even astronauts for decades. If it's good enough for NASA, it's more than good enough for your living room during a blackout. Here's a real-world example. During the Texas freeze of 2021, thousands of families were left without power for days. One family stranded in their car overnight survived because they had thermal blankets in their glove compartment. They layered the blankets over themselves and their kids. It wasn't luxurious, but it kept them alive until help arrived. But here's the thing, not all thermal blankets are created equal. The cheap ones tear easily and won't hold up when you need them most. FEMA recommends investing in high-quality insulation blankets or heavy-duty emergency sleeping bags that use the same reflective technology. These are small, lightweight, and easy to store in your car, closet, or even under your bed. Think of them as your heat insurance policy. When the furnace dies in the middle of a freezing night, do you really want to rely on a hoodie and a prayer? Or would you rather have something designed to keep soldiers and explorers alive in far harsher conditions? The choice is yours. A $5 investment today could be the difference between comfort and crisis tomorrow. 2. Plan B. Warmth, backup heating sources. Now let's talk about staying warm when the grid lets you down. Picture this. A snowstorm barrels through your area, knocking out the power grid. Suddenly, your house goes silent. No hum from the furnace, no warm air blowing through the vents, just an eerie, bone-chilling quiet. The temperature inside starts to drop, and before you know it, your home feels like an icebox. This isn't just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. That's why FEMA stresses the importance of having a reliable backup heating source. Here's the deal, you can't rely on a single heating system. When power lines freeze, furnaces fail, or natural gas supplies get disrupted, you need a plan B. Whether it's a propane heater, a kerosene heater, or a properly ventilated wood stove, having an alternative heat source can mean the difference between survival and disaster. Let me share a story that drives this point home. During the 2013 ice storm in Ontario, Canada, hundreds of thousands of homes were left without power for over a week. Some families had backup propane heaters and managed to stay warm. Others didn't, and they ended up huddling in overcrowded community shelters while their pipes burst and their homes turned into frozen wastelands. The difference wasn't luck, it was preparation. But here's the catch: backup heating can be dangerous if you don't use it correctly. Every winter, we hear tragic stories of families trying to stay warm with grills, gas stoves, or unventilated heaters, only to fall victim to carbon monoxide poisoning. That's why FEMA emphasizes pairing any alternative heating source with a carbon monoxide detector. Ventilation is non-negotiable. Warmth isn't worth your life. Think of a backup heater like a fire extinguisher. You might not use it often, maybe not even for years. But when you need it, nothing else will do. A small propane heater stored safely with a couple of fuel canisters can keep you warm, calm, and safe while the storm rages outside. And don't forget to stock up on fuel. A heater without fuel is as useless as a flashlight without batteries. Investing in a backup heating source isn't about luxury, it's about survival. 3. Life-saving alarms, carbon monoxide detectors. When the furnace dies and the temperature drops, people get desperate. They drag grills into their living rooms, fire up old propane heaters without checking ventilation, or run generators in their garages with the door cracked open, thinking it's safe. And then, without warning, a silent killer creeps in. Carbon monoxide. You can't see it, smell it, or taste it. But carbon monoxide can put you to sleep and never let you wake up. That's why FEMA insists that no home should face winter without a carbon monoxide detector, and it better have a battery backup. Here's a chilling reality check. During the Texas blackout of 2021, hundreds of people ended up in hospitals, not because of the cold itself, but because of carbon monoxide poisoning. Families were burning charcoal indoors, running cars in closed garages, or using faulty heaters. Many thought they were being careful. They weren't. Some didn't make it out alive. And the worst part? All of it could have been prevented with a simple, affordable device. A carbon monoxide detector is your first and only line of defense against this invisible threat. When the air turns deadly, it screams an alarm, giving you precious time to act. Whether that means opening windows, shutting off a faulty heater, or getting your family out of the house. And don't forget the battery backup. When the power goes out, your plug-in detector is as useless as a dead flashlight. Here's the blunt truth: most homes either don't have a carbon monoxide detector or have one with dead batteries. Don't be that person. A $10 piece of plastic on your wall could be the reason your family wakes up tomorrow morning. Think of it like this: you wouldn't go camping without a smoke alarm near the fire. So why would you face a dangerous winter without guarding against a gas that claims lives every single storm season? Preparation isn't optional, it's essential. 4. Power in your pocket. Backup power sources. The scariest part of a winter blackout isn't just the darkness. It's the sudden realization of how much of your life depends on electricity. No lights, no heat, no way to charge your phone and your fridge. It's just a glorified cooler that turns into a box of spoiled food within hours. That's why FEMA emphasizes the importance of having a reliable backup power source. Imagine this: it's mid-January in Michigan and a snowstorm has knocked out power across your entire neighborhood. Every house is pitch black, except for one. Through the windows, you see a faint glow of light, and outside, you hear the steady hum of a generator. Inside, that family has heat. Their fridge is running, their phones are charged, and they're staying connected to emergency updates. That generator just turned a potential disaster into a manageable inconvenience. Generators come in all shapes and sizes: gas, propane, or dual fuel options. But not everyone has the space or budget for a full-sized model. That's where portable power banks come in. And no, I'm not talking about those tiny chargers for your phone. I mean the new generation of solar-powered or rechargeable power stations. These compact devices are powerful enough to run small appliances, medical equipment, or even a space heater. During California's rolling blackouts, sales of these portable power stations skyrocketed as people realized they needed a quiet, gas-free backup option. These devices aren't just about convenience, they're about survival. When the grid goes down, you need to stay connected. Communication saves lives. You need to call for help, check weather updates, and sometimes just keep your kids calm with a little light or music. A good power bank or generator doesn't just keep your devices alive, it gives you peace of mind. When the lights go out and the cold sets in, the real question is, will you be the one sitting helplessly in the dark, or the one who planned ahead? Don't wait until the next storm to find out. 5. Stock up smart, emergency food and water. Let's face it, when a winter storm is on the horizon, grocery stores turn into chaos zones. Shelves empty faster than you can say snowstorm, and the essentials, bread, milk, eggs, vanish in minutes. But here's the thing, when a major storm hits, those shelves won't matter because you won't be able to reach them. Roads will be impassable, and you'll be stuck at home. That's why FEMA stresses the importance of having at least 72 hours worth of non-perishable food and safe drinking water on hand. Think back to the blizzard that buried Buffalo, New York in the late 2020s. Roads were completely shut down, cars were stranded, and even emergency vehicles couldn't get through. Families who had food and water stored stayed safe and relatively comfortable. Those who didn't, hunger and dehydration added another layer of misery to an already dangerous situation. Now, non-perishable food doesn't have to mean boring, tasteless rations. FEMA recommends calorie-dense options like peanut butter, canned meats, protein bars, and instant oatmeal. These are easy to store, require little to no cooking, and will keep your energy up when you need it most. And don't forget a manual can opener, because when the power's out, your electric one is just a fancy paperweight. Water is even more critical. Cold weather can trick you into thinking you don't need as much hydration, but your body still loses water, especially in dry, heated air. FEMA's guideline is 1 gallon per person per day. For a family of 4, that's 12 gallons for just 3 days. It sounds like a lot, but in a blackout it disappears fast. And here's something most people forget. Winter can freeze your pipes. Once they burst, your tap water isn't safe anymore. That's why bottled water or sealed containers are essential. Some preppers even keep water purification tablets as a backup because melted snow isn't always clean. Imagine sitting in a freezing house, the wind howling outside, and realizing you can't even give your kids a drink of water. That's a nightmare you don't want to face. Food and water aren't just supplies, they're stability. They keep your strength up, your mood steady, and your family calm until the storm passes. 6. Layer up. Winter clothing essentials. When people think about winter survival, they often picture snow shovels or space heaters. But here's the blunt truth. Sometimes the only thing standing between you and hypothermia is the clothing on your back. And hypothermia doesn't just happen to hikers lost in the woods. It can strike in your own living room if the heat goes out during a long blackout. Think about how quickly the cold takes over. The power fails at midnight. You go to bed under your regular blanket, but by 3 a.m., your body temperature is dropping. Shivering kicks in, but it's not enough. You're losing heat faster than your body can produce it. That's why FEMA emphasizes the importance of proper winter clothing and layering. This isn't about throwing on a hoodie and calling it a day. It's about smart layers. Thermal underwear, insulated jackets, wool socks, waterproof boots, hats, and gloves aren't just nice to have, they're life-saving. Once your core temperature drops even a few degrees, your muscles weaken, your mind slows, and frostbite becomes a real threat. Here's a story that proves the point. During the 1998 ice storm in Quebec, millions of people lost power, some for over a month. Families with proper winter gear, heavy coats, insulated sleeping bags, wool hats, managed to stay warm even without reliable heat. But others, dressed in regular indoor clothes, found themselves shivering uncontrollably within hours. Some had to abandon their homes and head to shelters. The difference? Preparation. And don't forget your extremities. Up to 30% of body heat is lost through your head and neck. Add in exposed hands and feet, and you're basically leaking warmth. A simple knit cap, lined gloves, and dry insulated boots can make all the difference. Wool and synthetic fabrics are your best friends here. They keep insulating even when damp, unlike cotton, which holds moisture and chills you to the bone. One more thing, waterproof outer layers. Wet clothing can be as dangerous as no clothing at all. A good parka and waterproof boots aren't luxuries, they're shields. If you have to step outside to clear snow or deal with flooding, they'll keep you dry and warm. So when the storm is raging and your furnace is dead, would you rather face that night in pajamas and slippers, or in gear designed to keep Arctic workers alive? The choice is yours. 7. Roadside Rescue Winter Car Survival Kit. Winter storms don't just trap you at home, they can leave you stranded in your car. And that's where things can go from bad to worse in a hurry. Every year, drivers across the US and Canada find themselves stuck on highways when blizzards hit. Roads vanish under snow, engines stall, and suddenly your warm, comfortable vehicle turns into a freezing metal box. This is why FEMA is adamant. Every car needs a fully stocked winter survival kit. Imagine this scenario. You're driving home from work on a January evening. The snow starts falling harder than expected, and before you know it, traffic grinds to a halt. The plows can't keep up and you're stuck. Hours pass. Your gas tank is running low and you're forced to turn off the engine to conserve fuel. The heater stops and the cold air creeps in. Without a survival kit, you're left with nothing but hope. But with one, you've got the essentials to make it through the night. So what should go in this kit? Start with the basics: an ice scraper and snow brush to keep your windshield clear when the roads finally reopen. Add jumper cables because cold weather is notorious for draining car batteries. Pack thermal blankets or emergency sleeping bags to retain body heat if your engine dies. Don't forget bottled water and high-energy snacks like granola bars, nuts, or jerky to keep your energy up. A flashlight with extra batteries is non-negotiable, and a small first aid kit is a must. If you live in areas prone to heavy snow, include sand or cat litter for traction and tire chains if your roads require them. A small shovel can also be a lifesaver if you need to dig your car out of a snowbank. And don't overlook a phone charger or power bank to keep your devices alive for emergency calls. Here's a sobering reality check. In December 2022, drivers in Buffalo were trapped in their cars for over 24 hours during a massive blizzard. Some didn't survive. Others made it through because they had blankets, food, and charged phones. This isn't just a checklist, it's a lifeline. So the next time you get behind the wheel, ask yourself, if tonight turned into a freezing standoff with nature, would your car be ready to keep you alive until help arrived? 8. Home fortress, insulating materials and emergency shelter. Most people think of their home as their ultimate safe haven. But here's the harsh truth. In a brutal winter storm, even your house can fail you. Roofs collapse under the weight of heavy snow, windows crack, and heating systems shut down. When that happens, you need a backup plan. FEMA emphasizes the importance of weatherproof shelter and insulating materials because when your home's defenses weaken, your ability to improvise shelter can mean the difference between staying safe and succumbing to the cold. Picture this. An ice storm knocks out power across your neighborhood. Within hours, the temperature inside your home drops below freezing. Pipes burst, and your once cozy living room feels like a walk-in freezer. What do? Families who prepare know how to turn a single room into a survival zone. Heavy-duty tarps or plastic sheeting can seal off windows and block drafts. Reflective insulation, those shiny foil-like rolls, can be taped to walls or ceilings to trap heat. Even hanging extra blankets over doorways can create a small heat-saving cocoon. Here's a real-life example. During the 2010 snowstorm in Virginia, some families lost power for nearly 2 weeks. Those who had plastic sheeting, duct tape, and tarps created warm zones inside their homes. They funneled everyone into one insulated room, blocked off drafts, and layered blankets on walls. It wasn't luxurious, but it worked. They managed to maintain livable temperatures while the rest of the house froze solid. Portable shelters can also be lifesavers. FEMA and emergency responders often use weatherproof tents during disasters. Setting up a small insulated tent inside your living room might sound extreme, but it can trap body heat far better than an open space. For families with kids, turning that tent into a sleep zone can make a terrifying blackout feel more like an indoor camping adventure. The bottom line, your home isn't invincible. A winter storm can strip away comfort and safety faster than you think. But with the right insulating materials and a plan to create your own mini shelter, you can outsmart the cold and keep your family safe. 9. Frostbite fighters, cold-specific first aid kit. When we think about winter survival, we often focus on staying warm, fed, and hydrated. But here's the reality. The cold doesn't just make you uncomfortable, it can seriously harm you. Frostbite and hypothermia are two of the biggest dangers in freezing weather. And once they set in, you need to act fast. That's why FEMA emphasizes the importance of a first aid kit tailored for cold weather emergencies. Let's start with hypothermia. It's sneaky. Your body temperature drops below 95 degrees, and the symptoms creep in. Uncontrollable shivering, slurred speech, confusion, and eventually an inability to move. If untreated, hypothermia can lead to organ failure and even death. Frostbite is just as brutal. It targets your extremities, fingers, toes, ears, and nose, turning them numb and pale. Left untreated, frostbite can kill tissue, sometimes leading to amputation. And here's the kicker. These aren't rare wilderness scenarios. They happen in cities, neighborhoods, and even indoors during prolonged blackouts. Take the 2021 Texas blackout, for example. Dozens of people ended up in hospitals, not just for carbon monoxide poisoning, but also for frostbite. With no heat and freezing indoor temperatures, people fell asleep without proper layers. Some woke up unable to feel their hands or feet. A well-stocked first aid kit could have made all the difference. So what should your kit include? Start with the basics: gauze, antiseptics, scissors, bandages, and over-the-counter pain relievers. Then add cold-specific items like instant hand warmers, thermal wraps, burn gel for frostbite treatment, and electrolyte packets to combat dehydration. Petroleum jelly or frostbite creams can protect exposed skin, and a thermometer can help you monitor body temperature if hypothermia is a concern. Think of your first aid kit as your safety net. You might not need it often, but when you do, it's the only thing that matters. A bandage, a heat pack, or a thermal wrap can stabilize someone long enough to get professional help. Winter injuries are sneaky and silent, but with the right supplies, you can fight back and protect your family. Don't wait until it's too late. Get your kit ready now. 10. Stay connected. Emergency communication tools. When winter storms hit, one of the first things to go is communication. Cell towers freeze, power outages knock out Wi-Fi, and suddenly you're cut off from the outside world. Staying connected isn't just about convenience, it's about survival. That's why having reliable communication tools is a must-have for any winter emergency kit. Picture this: a blizzard has knocked out power in your area, and your phone battery is on its last legs. You can't call for help, check weather updates, or even let your loved ones know you're safe. It's a terrifying scenario, but one that's entirely preventable with the right preparation. Start with a fully charged portable power bank. These devices are lifesavers when your phone or other essential gadgets run out of juice. Look for models with multiple USB ports and enough capacity to charge your phone several times over. Solar-powered chargers are another excellent option, especially if the blackout lasts for days. Next, consider a hand crank or battery-powered emergency radio. These radios are designed to keep you informed when all other communication channels fail. Many models also double as flashlights and phone chargers, making them a versatile addition to your emergency kit. For those in remote areas, a two-way radio or walkie-talkie can be a game-changer. These devices don't rely on cell towers, so you can stay in touch with family members or neighbors even when the grid is down. And don't forget the importance of good old-fashioned paper. Keep a list of emergency contacts, local shelters, and important phone numbers written down. In a crisis, when technology fails, having this information on hand can be a lifesaver. Communication tools are more than just gadgets. They're your lifeline in a winter emergency. Whether it's calling for help, staying informed, or simply reassuring a loved one, being able to communicate can make all the difference. 11. Stay clean, stay healthy. Hygiene and sanitation. When we think about winter survival, hygiene and sanitation often get overlooked. But here's the thing: staying clean and healthy is just as important as staying warm. In a prolonged winter emergency, poor hygiene can lead to illness, which is the last thing you want when medical help might be hard to reach. Let's start with hand hygiene. In cold weather, people often skip washing their hands because the water is too cold or they're conserving resources. But germs don't take a snow day. Keep a supply of hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol in your emergency kit. It's a quick and effective way to kill germs when soap and water aren't available. Next, think about waste management. If a storm knocks out your plumbing, you'll need a plan for dealing with human waste. Portable toilets, heavy-duty trash bags, and chemical waste treatments can help you manage this unpleasant but necessary task. FEMA recommends having a bucket with a tight-fitting lid, along with toilet paper, wet wipes, and disposable gloves. Don't forget about feminine hygiene products. Stock up on tampons, pads, or menstrual cups and store them in a waterproof container. These items are often overlooked in emergency kits, but are essential for maintaining comfort and hygiene. Dental hygiene is another area that's easy to neglect in a crisis. A toothbrush, toothpaste, and floss take up minimal space but can prevent painful dental issues. If water is scarce, consider using disposable toothbrushes or waterless toothpaste. Finally, think about staying clean without a shower. Baby wipes, dry shampoo, and no-rinse body wash are excellent options for maintaining hygiene when running water isn't available. These items can help you feel more human and less stressed during a prolonged emergency. Hygiene might not seem like a top priority in a winter storm, but it's crucial for your health and well-being. A little preparation can go a long way in keeping you and your family safe and comfortable. 12. Mind over matter, mental health and entertainment. Winter storms don't just test your physical endurance, they challenge your mental resilience too. Being stuck indoors for days, cut off from the outside world, can take a serious toll on your mental health. That's why taking care of your emotional well-being is just as important as stocking up on food and water. Let's face it, boredom and stress are a dangerous combination. When the power is out and the snow is piling up outside, it's easy to feel isolated and anxious. That's why having a plan for mental health and entertainment is essential. Start with activities that engage your mind. Board games, puzzles, and card games are excellent ways to pass the time and keep your brain active. They're also a great way to bond with family members and create a sense of normalcy in an otherwise stressful situation. Books and magazines are another fantastic option. Whether it's a gripping novel or a stack of your favorite magazines, reading can be a welcome escape from the harsh reality outside. Music can also be a powerful mood booster. A battery-powered or solar-powered radio can provide not only news updates, but also a much-needed dose of entertainment. If you have a portable speaker, consider downloading playlists or audiobooks to your phone before the storm hits. For those who enjoy journaling, a notebook and pen can be invaluable. Writing down your thoughts, fears, and plans can help you process your emotions and stay focused. It's also a great way to document your experience for future reference. And don't underestimate the power of self-care. A warm blanket, a cup of tea, or even a small treat like chocolate can do wonders for your mood. If you have access to essential oils or aromatherapy, these can also help create a calming atmosphere. Mental health and entertainment might not seem like survival essentials, but they're crucial for getting through the emotional challenges of a winter storm. By taking care of your mind as well as your body, you'll be better equipped to weather the storm, both literally and figuratively. 13. Light the way. Emergency lighting essentials. When the power goes out during a winter storm, the first thing you'll notice is the overwhelming darkness. Without streetlights, indoor lighting, or even the faint glow of your devices, everything becomes pitch black. And let's be real, this isn't just inconvenient, it's downright dangerous. Trying to navigate your home in the dark can lead to trips, falls, and injuries. Plus, the psychological impact of prolonged darkness can add to the stress of an already challenging situation. That's why emergency lighting is an absolute must-have for winter survival. Let's start with the basics: flashlights. Every household should have multiple flashlights, ideally one for each family member. LED flashlights are the way to go. They're brighter, last longer, and are more energy efficient than traditional models. And don't forget the batteries. Stock up on extras, or better yet, invest in rechargeable flashlights with solar or hand crank charging options. These are lifesavers when the blackout stretches on for days. Headlamps are another game changer. Need to cook, fix something, or even read a book? A headlamp keeps your hands free while providing focused light exactly where you need it. They're lightweight, easy to use, and perfect for both indoor and outdoor tasks. Now, let's talk about candles. While they can create a cozy vibe, they come with risks. Open flames are a fire hazard, especially in homes with kids or pets. If you're going to use candles, make sure they're in sturdy holders and placed far away from anything flammable. A safer alternative: battery-operated LED candles. They mimic the warm glow of real candles without the fire risk. For longer blackouts, consider investing in LED lanterns. These are portable, lightweight, and provide 360-degree illumination, making them ideal for lighting up entire rooms. Some even come with USB ports for charging your devices. Talk about multitasking. And don't underestimate the humble glow stick. They're inexpensive, long-lasting, and safe for kids to use. While they won't replace a flashlight, they're great for quick visibility in a pinch. Finally, think about outdoor lighting. Solar-powered pathway lights are a fantastic addition to your emergency kit. They charge during the day and provide enough light to safely navigate your yard or driveway at night. Whether you're dealing with a blackout or just trying to avoid slipping on ice, these lights are a simple yet effective solution. Emergency lighting isn't just about seeing in the dark. It's about creating a sense of safety and normalcy during a stressful time. With the right tools, you can keep your home illuminated and your family calm, no matter how long the storm lasts. 14. Winter warriors. Tools and equipment you need. When winter storms hit, having the right tools and equipment can make all the difference. These unsung heroes of winter survival often go unnoticed until you need them. But trust me, they're essential for tackling the unique challenges of freezing temperatures, heavy snow, and power outages. Let's dive into the must-haves. First up, a sturdy snow shovel. Clearing your driveway, walkways, or even your car is no small task during a snowstorm, but it's crucial for safety and mobility. Look for ergonomic designs that reduce strain on your back, and if you're dealing with heavy, wet snow, consider a metal-bladed shovel for extra durability. For those with larger areas to clear, a snowblower can be a game-changer. It's an investment, but one that pays off when you're not spending hours shoveling in sub-zero temperatures. Next, let's talk about ice. Slippery sidewalks and driveways are accidents waiting to happen, so stock up on ice melt or sand. Ice melt works quickly to break down ice, while sand provides traction to prevent slips and falls. Pro tip: keep a small bag of sand or cat litter in your car too. It can help you gain traction if your tires get stuck in snow or ice. Speaking of cars, a windshield scraper and snow brush are non-negotiable. There's nothing worse than waking up to a car buried under snow and ice, only to realize you have no way to clear it. A good scraper and brush combo will save you time and frustration. And while we're on the topic of vehicles, don't forget jumper cables or a portable jump starter. Cold weather is notorious for draining car batteries, and the last thing you want is to be stranded with a dead engine. For those who might need to dig out of a snowbank, a compact collapsible shovel is a lifesaver. It's small enough to keep in your car, but sturdy enough to handle tough conditions. And if you live in an area prone to heavy snow, tire chains are a smart addition to your winter toolkit. They provide extra grip on icy roads, giving you more control when driving in treacherous conditions.